Hey folks, I thought I'd do a quick model review of a kit that I actually built several years ago, but I recently took it off the shelf and reworked it because I was never completely happy with it. Over the last little while, I've been going through some of my previously built kits and touching up and reworking the ones that I was never entirely satisfied with. So, this one in particular is a 1967 Dodge Coronet RT. This was released several years ago by Revell and was part of the Foose series of model kits. Actually, there's a picture of the original box and box art. Now, this one, as I remember, was a skill 2, according to the box anyway. It's 125 scale. And the tooling in general was pretty good. Sharp lines, as I remember, not a lot of flash. It built a little more in depth than a typical skill 2. I would actually compare this to some of the, skill 5s that I put together. But overall, it was a pretty nice kit. Now, it was a lot of years ago since I built this. I can't exactly remember how many. It's probably upwards of 5 years ago now. But as many that built this kit will recall, it came with these very large, kind of Halibrand looking wheels. And the kit never sat as low as the picture indicated on the box art. Most of them that you'll see, if you Google search 67 Foose Coronet kit, you'll see other individuals built versions of this. And the main problem with this kit was its stance. Now, with the wheels that came with it, they were chrome, and they just didn't look right. The car sat really high. I guess in real life, those would be like 20-inch wheels to scale. And that really took away from the car, I found. One of the other issues I had with the build of this kit was some alignment issues. If you look at other individuals' builds, most of them have improper hood alignment. On my kit, I actually had to shave a bunch off the side and back of this hood to get it to close. The shut lines are okay, they're not perfect, but originally the hood was bigger than the opening. So, that was a big problem. There's the engine there. This kit comes with came with a 426 Hemi. I can't remember if this kit was a build 2 ways. I didn't do the hinge system because from what I see of other guys' builds online, some of the other people that built this kit, they have real issues with their hoods closing properly. But anyway, to get back to it, I was never satisfied with the stance. It sat up almost like a 4x4. You could see almost the complete back wheel, and this front wheel sat up a lot higher. There's a lot of wheel gap. So to counter that, what I did was I shaved a little bit off the front suspension, and I actually sat the whole tub, the frame tub, a bit higher in the back and glued it in place so this back suspension can sit up a little higher. I did that in addition to shaving just a little bit off the leaf springs. Now, it's a little crude, but I shaved a little bit off. I sanded a little bit off each end of the leaf springs. Can't really notice it. And then I sat like I said, I inset the tub a little further in the rear. With the front on this cross member here that goes in front of the motor, this engine cross member, I cut quite a bit off. I shaved quite a bit off on all 4 sections, and I also shaved a little bit off the torsion bars and the steering knuckles, or control arms, whatever you want to refer to them as, so that the front nose could sit down a little lower. And I know it still sits pretty high, but as you can see, if you get a good shot of it, I actually have the front wheel in the wheel well. And if you Google image some of these, at least ones that are stock, you'll notice that none of them sit like that. So this was as good of a stance as I could get. Now, as far as these wheels, when I originally built it, I built it with the stock wheels. Like I said, they're kind of a Hallebrand looking wheel. I don't want to show any pre-built or finished kits online, because these aren't my pictures, but those are kind of the style of wheel. You can Google image them for yourself. But they had no real detail. They were all just kind of a flat-faced chrome, almost looked like a giant hubcap. And they also came with these really thick tires. So what I wanted to do to kind of scale that down a little bit is I took wheels from another kit. Now, I knew I couldn't do much beyond what I've done here regarding the stance. And again, I can't remember if this build had a stock option, stock wheel and tires, because it was so long ago. For some reason, I don't think it did, but I could be wrong. But because of that, and because of how high it sat, I knew that I had to do something. It needed a larger wheel, but I didn't like the size of the originals. So what I did is, these wheels here are actually out of the Fast and Furious Dom's 71 GTX. And that's a kit that can be built one of two ways, from what I remember. I do have that kit. It's not built yet, but I do intend on basically building it in stock form. That kit's also released in 125 scale by Revell. I have that kit sitting somewhere on a shelf. So what I did was I opened up that kit and stole the wheels. These wheels, I think, were also used in another kit. I think Custom Mustang, but don't quote me on that. They kind of have like an Eleanor look to them anyway. They're an offset, as you can see, a little bit wider in the back. But the really nice thing was, besides for the mounting size in the spindle itself, or the axle, besides for that being the same size, so no modification was needed there, the wheel themselves were slightly smaller in diameter, just by a hair, and the tires, once around the wheels, were also smaller. So because of that, I have that in combination with me basically lowering the front and rear end slightly, was enough to give this more of a realistic stance. I had originally done this model in a Chrysler blue, more vintage blue, similar to this. I think it was called Electric Blue or Jamaican Blue, something like that. Didn't really turn out that great. I redid it in a similar shade, but this is Chrysler Hydro Blue, or Dodge Hydro Blue. I think this is commonly found on some of the later model trucks. When I built it, this front end here, if I may, the grill, or above the grill on the edge of the hood, had a chrome band that kind of connected the two sides of this grill. You can see the chrome band stops there. There was another piece of chrome that you could glue along the hood. On none of them, from what I've seen, and I've actually seen another one of these built in person. They don't fit nice because the hood itself doesn't fit nice to begin with. And if you do mount that on the edge, I had it on the edge at one point in time when I first completed it. It looked like trash, basically. The hood didn't close right, so I took that off, and it has a cleaner look, and it still has Dodge on the edge of the hood. As far as the detailing goes, I was kind of going, it's a custom car to begin with, so I kind of kept that custom theme. I shaved the door handles. Well, I didn't mount the door handles at all, but I also shaved the door locks. Those were imprinted. So basically, I had to glue the door handle, but the door lock was right beside it. I kept the wipers off. As you can see, it just has like where the wiper nubs. Kind of went with a clean custom look. With the interior, I went like a medium, almost silver for the seats. I thought that kind of worked. And with the wheels, that's graphite, metallic, Chrysler graphite metallic, almost like a gunmetal. Well, anyway, that about wraps up this kit review. It was a pretty good kit overall to build. I put it somewhere around the halfway point in the difficulty scale. A little bit more advanced than most Skill 2 kits. Again, this was a Skill 2 because even the interior tub, I've seen a lot of Skill 2s, most of them actually, where the tub itself, like the interior tub, is one piece, and then you just glue your seats and stuff in. This was entirely separate. Every door panel was separate, all the components. So a little more parts than I'm used to seeing in Skill 2, but it really wasn't that difficult. That being said, if you want this kit this kit to sit right and have a good stance, and you know, again, that hood to close, it will require some work. So if you want to build it up and have it look decent, you got to have some skill. I put that on the moderate scale. Back shot of that. I just detailed it out with the blacked out taillights, RT. Well, anyway, that wraps up this model review. Again, 67 Dodge Coronet RT kit released by Revell in the Chip Foose line of cars. Thanks for watching my video, and maybe if I do a few more of these, I'll take a video of them as well.